Hey everybody, welcome to Cheap Comic Collector. This is episode number 155, and today we're going to be looking over these books that I just read not too long ago. Starting off, once again, we have a Convergence 2-issue miniseries. This is Supergirl / Matrix, and so this is the what do you want to call it? The protoplasm Supergirl that Lex Luthor invented. That was quite a while back. I don't remember what decade. But anyway, they're under the dome. It's Metropolis, and she doesn't have her powers, which is kind of weird since she's not. I guess since she was created, she's kind of. I guess she's not exactly a machine, but anyway, they've never been real clear on why some people have some powers and some people don't in these series. But anyway, Lex Luthor, the redhead Lexi Luthor or whatever his name is, he's being a jerk to Supergirl all the time, and he's trying to. The dome comes down, so you got Lady Quark and her husband, and they're fighting all the time, and that's pretty much the background of the stories. You got the two paired off here, and they're always fighting. So these two show up to fight Supergirl like they're supposed to, and Supergirl's like, I don't really have time right now. Can we do this later? And so on and so forth. And but of course they end up fighting, and she takes out the guy, and so the Lady Quark is trying to decide whether to fight her or not, because once she sees how powerful she is, she doesn't know if she wants to or not. And then surprise, surprise, at the end of the issue, Ambush Bug shows up. And I guess if you look at the credits, it was written by Keith Giffen. And pencils by Timothy Green, Joseph Silver on inks. And it was kind of fun. It was a quick read. Art's okay on it. And Ambush Bug was a surprise. I liked that they didn't give that away. They didn't put a little blurb on the cover or his head popping up or something. And it was just a complete surprise where all of a sudden Ambush Bug, of all people, shows up at the end of the issue. So, number 2, same creatives. And so it gets, it's done more humorously after this because of Ambush Bug showing up. And he keeps saying that Supergirl smells like spackle. And of course, she's not happy about that. She keeps getting mad about that. And kind of typical Ambush Bug stuff. It's funny. It's humorous. And so they're going through multiple. Basically, Ambush Bug is transporting them to various cities around the planet. That's why they're talking to rats and stuff. And Lady Quark can track them because of the energy signature. So she keeps chasing after them. And this guy here is basically a kind of a takeoff on Spider-Man. He was bit by radioactive head lice. So, it's fun. It's just a fun story. It was different than all the other ones, and it was fun. And then these, they end up on this place where the Justice League is half robots or whatever. You've seen that in a couple other issues. And then they end up at Cap's hobby shop, where the Officer Casey is there, and he's talking about Binky and Sugar and Spike and stuff. So that's kind of cool. Nice little throwbacks to the past history. And then eventually, so Supergirl and Lady Quark are gonna battle it out, and then Luthor screams something at Supergirl, so Lady Quark excuses her while she goes and beats the crap out of Luthor. And then Ambush Bug goes off into the sunset, and that's the end of the issue. So never really get anything resolved. It's just a funny But it was a fun story. It was cool. That was from 2015, like all of the Convergence issues. And then we have New Talent Showcase #1 from 1984. We got a kind of a wraparound cover. It's just got the different panels from the different stories inside. And this was a little bit different. All new stories to me. I've never read any of the New Talent Showcase before. And the first one is Forever Amber. That's the girl's name, is Amber. And she's basically a thief. She's Vietnamese or something of that sort. And that didn't sound very nice. That I didn't mean that. She's Vietnamese, basically. And she had an American father. And so she's trying to earn money to get her mom medicine, and she's basically in league with a thief, and her mom dies because she's not in time. She blames her American father for not sending money, and so on and so forth. And so she breaks into this temple to steal jewels, and this is basically her origin story. She eventually gets the one stone is like it's in her palm. It becomes attached to her in the palm of her hand, so she now has powers where she can just turn stuff to amber and kill it, basically. And she wants to go to America to kill her dad. So that's the end of that chapter. Then we go into Sky Dogs. Oh, and I didn't talk about the creators. Most of them are people I haven't heard of. Rich Margopoulos. Yeah, Rich Margopoulos is the writer. Stan Walk is pencils. Rick Magyar is inker. The name Stan Walk sounds a little familiar to me. I may have heard of him before, but I couldn't tell you who he is. So, anyway, Sky Dogs are basically pirates working out of a flying pirate ship, and they attack seagoing vessels. And the creators here are L.B. Kellogg as writer, Tom Mandrake as artist. So, of course, Tom Mandrake has some high-profile projects, so we know who he is. And basically, the art's good. The story's a little convoluted, but they squeezed a lot of story into the few pages they had. So basically, they're pirating this ship, which is also a pirate ship. So they're plundering, against pirates. And then there's some mysticism going on with crystal balls and stuff, and so they see the future. And there's a captured princess on the pirate ship that they attack, so they rescue her and agree to help her father, who has been captured. And then the next one's just a short story. It's called Rock of Ages by Tom Smith. And basically it's just a guy, climbing a mountain to get answers from a guru, and the guru basically tells him he has to stay there and take his place if he wants the answers. And so he gets mad and basically accidentally kills the guy by slapping him, and then he ends up staying there so he can find the answers, even though he didn't want to. It was kind of strange. And then let's see, we got Todd Klein with the writer. He's normally a letterer, so he did the script and the letters, so he wrote this story. That's interesting, because I've only seen his credits as a letterer. And Scott Hampton as the artist. And this is Class of 2064. It's basically a sci-fi story where a class is going to Earth. There's some kind of class war between people from space and people that live on Earth. that they're scared of. They're going to the Grand Canyon on a class trip, and it just kind of introduces the characters. That's really all that gets revealed, other than the girl is carrying some kind of virus in her bloodstream that the bad guys are trying to get. So that was the end of that one. A lot of, 3 of the 4 stories were continued. But it was okay. It was good stuff. It wasn't bad. Not bad at all. Different concepts. And then from 1972, we have Marvel Tales, number 36, with Spider-Man, obviously a Amazing Spider-Man reprint. It doesn't tell me in here which one it's reprinted from. I believe this is from the storyline where they first introduced the Kingpin, but I don't think this is his first appearance. It may be the first meeting between him and Spider-Man. But I want to show you how much dialogue there is in these comics. Ms. Stanley, of course, John Romita on art with inks by Mickey DeMeo. And I mean, if they took this story and printed it today, it would be at least a 4-issue miniseries, just this comic. That's how much stuff is going on in this comic. It's basically Spider-Man versus Kingpin. You got, what's his name? Frederick somebody who used to be the big man, trying to infiltrate Kingpin. And, of course, J. Jonah Jameson having a fit. And the Mary Jane and the gang make an appearance. Pete's got his motorcycle. Just lots and lots of. I mean, it just keeps going, man. It's just a great read, great art. I mentioned in the comments recently how much the great art that Marvel had in the 70s. I mean, they did not put anything out in the 60s and 70s that was bad. It's as far as I know. I mean, it was just amazing how many fantastic artists that they had in their stable of creators. It's just really great stuff. There's the original cover. So it was from Amazing Spider-Man 51. So yeah, his first meeting of Spidey and Kingpin. So he probably made appearances in the issue or so before that, but that was the first time they met. So very cool, very fun, just classic stuff. And then lastly, we have from 1977, Uncle Scrooge, number 140. And you got the gag cover with him doing an eye test. I guess he's identifying coins on the eye test. I don't know. And let's see, Captain Marvel fighting the killer bees from outer space once again with Twinkies. And this one's called For Old Dime's Sake. It was originally from Uncle Scrooge 43. And it features the Uncle Scrooge villain, Magica Dispel, who honestly, of all the classic Scrooge villains, Beagle Boys, Flintheart, Glomgold, and so on and so forth, Magica's probably my least favorite. Just because she's this all-powerful sorceress who they managed to outwit, and I never really understood why she just didn't, turn them all into toads or something. But great art, fantastic story by Carl Barks, and of course Magica's after Uncle Scrooge's number 1 dime, the first dime he ever earned. Back when he was a shoeshine boy in Glasgow, because she thinks it's a magic talisman that will make her rich if she gets she wants to melt it down into a magic amulet or something. And so anyway, she attacks the money bin and she disguises herself as Uncle Scrooge and almost gets away with the dime. And it's just a fun story. It is. It's still Carl Barks. It's 10 times better than so many other things, and just great stuff. It does have a backup story called Famous Figure. This seems like it's a Vic Lockman story to me again. I don't know that it is for sure. This is also from Uncle Scrooge 43, so it may be somebody else. But it's very much his style with, Uncle Scrooge being rich and having, like, big fancy cars and stuff like that, which, of course, in the Carl Barks stories, he would never have that. He would have some beat up old, if he had a car at all, it would be some beat old, thing he had to crank to get started or something. So, in this one, what was going on in this one? Oh yeah, it's a silly plot. Uncle Scrooge is trying to become a sports hero because he's only 11th in the popularity contest of celebrities or something like that. So, and everybody in front of him is a sports figure. So he's trying different sports and failing really bad at them because nobody wants his autograph since he's, so low down on the list. And just kind of silly. But the first story, man, great story. All right, so favorites. Man, these were good comics. I don't know. Probably Marvel Tales, Spider-Man introducing the Kingpin. I mean, you can't beat that. Uncle Scrooge, Carl Barks story. I mean, those are both. What a shame that they're both reprints. That I keep consistently choosing reprints over new stuff because it's just so much better than the more modern stuff. I'd say probably Marvel Tales, then Uncle Scrooge, then Supergirl Matrix, just because Ambush Bug made my day. New Talent Showcase, probably last. There wasn't anything that spectacular in there. It was interesting. The art is good, but there was no like standouts going, wow, this is really good. Whereas, the other three had those kind of moments. So that's about it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Tomorrow we'll be going through, we're starting another short box tomorrow. And then after that, we'll come back and do another one of these. And so we'll see ya. Thanks for watching.